This video I'm going to be reviewing a cheapie. It is relatively new, or at least it's become relatively newly hyped, I guess, in the community to some extent. It hasn't gone too crazy yet, but there's been a lot of talk about it. It's been compared to a very popular fragrance in the community, and that fragrance is from the house of Parfums De Marly, and it is Layton. So this is what a lot of people are comparing it to. They say that it smells or resembles Layton. Here it is, U.S. Army Intense. Yeah, so a very interesting fragrance. Who knew the U.S. Army would have a fragrance? But there is a normal version that's not the intense version. My understanding is obviously that does not smell like Layton. I don't know what that smells like. It's actually a nice glass bottle. It's kind of tacky. Little plastic cap, gold. Again, U.S. Army. I will say the one cool thing about this is a portion of the sales donation goes to the military. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, this has gotten some hype recently. Again, because it's been compared to Layton. So I am obviously going to compare it in this video. I have smelt this before. Spoiler alert, I do think it resembles Layton. But we'll get into how close it is here in a minute. Great atomizer, honestly, for a cheap fragrance. Yeah. So you'll immediately notice in this that kind of menthol-y note that Layton is famous for. A lot of people say it smells like Vicks Vapor Rub. I don't get that. I do get the menthol note, but it doesn't remind me of Vicks. It's mixing with the lavender and apple and vanilla. And it makes this very creamy, just seductive fragrance. So Layton has, in the top, it's got apple, it's got bergamot, it's got in the base vanilla, sandalwood, guaiac wood, I believe. In the mid, it's got jasmine, violet, some other notes I'm blanking on right now, but basically you get this kind of like florally mid. The base is vanilla and woods, and then the opening is citruses, but they're not bright in your face summer citruses, or fruits more so, but they're citrus fruits. I mean, again, it's apple and bergamot and mandarin orange, but they work so well. It makes this very creamy, seductive smell. But the combination gives off, it does give off a kind of menthol-y vibe to it. Again, PDM has great atomizers as well. No surprise. Okay. Ooh. So the menthol note in Layton is much more prominent, but it's still there in the U.S. Army one. Definitely more prominent in Layton. But like I said, you'll pick it up in both. There is obviously, not surprisingly, a clear quality difference. The U.S. Army Intense was running for pretty cheap. You give it 20 bucks on Amazon. Once it got hyped up, which was luckily after I purchased it, now it's sold out everywhere. And on eBay, I think it was selling for like $60. I don't know if that's still that case. Last time I looked, it was. Because I was thinking about getting a backup bottle. It resembles Layton. Actually, it's better than some of the other clones I've smelled from some of the clone houses. Surprisingly. And you get 100 ml. Performance isn't crazy, but it's also not terrible. I mean, it kind of is terrible when you're comparing it to certain things. But I got about 4 hours out of it. But again, it's 100 ml. So if you're spraying it just to go out for a brief period or something like that, it's great. There's plenty of juice, obviously, in it. As they dry down, the U.S. Army one loses some of that creaminess, seductiveness, kind of almost falls flat a little. Still there though. I mean, it still smells like Layton. Whereas like obviously the OG is still very creamy, rich. Just smells full. Just quality. Like, I mean, you're not going to get the same quality clearly. But for the money, I would absolutely pick it up if you're a fan of Layton, or maybe you've wanted Layton but you don't want to drop the money on it. For being a cheapie, I was impressed, especially for being a 100 ml bottle. Now, that's if you can get it for a reasonable price. I don't know that I would pay $60 for it. I do have better alternatives that I prefer, you know, for Layton. I've done reviews on that in the past. To me, there's two current favorite alternatives. One is from the House of Alexandria Fragrances. That is Royal Equestrian. That, to me, comes closest to Layton as far as a one-to-one match. It lasts very long. It smells very good. The menthol opening is slightly different. It's there. Slightly more medicinal. And in that sense, that's the only kind of knock against it, but I do like that it's still there. It does resemble the OG. My other favorite is from King's Fragrances, and that is Royal Essence. Now, that is not a one-to-one, but I like the route it takes. So it's their own spin on Layton, but it's creamier. The menthol is kind of dialed down, and it's just this very seductive fragrance, and it's a powerhouse. But both of them perform well. Royal Equestrian and that. So, but if you're looking for one that's more close to the real deal, Royal Equestrian is. Royal Essence from King's, you got to smell it. I mean, I would sample it, but everybody who's tried it in the groups loves it. It's one of my favorite from the house, hands down. It's one of the only ones that I actually got well, this is because they only offer two so far, but I definitely purchased a 100 ml bottle on that. And the Monarch was their other one. That's their version of Creed Events. It's 13cz. But yeah, it's very well received in the group. It smells really good. It just kind of goes its own way. I'll do a review on that, comparing that to Royal Equestrian and Layton. A full review on it. I'll do a follow-up video. But anyway, this is great for the money. I mean, for 20 bucks, if you can get it for 20 bucks, oh my gosh. Plus, you're helping out the military, you know. Some of your money's going there. I mean, depending on your beliefs, maybe you think that's bad, I don't know. But it does smell like Layton. If anybody says it doesn't, they don't know what they're talking about. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, it's not as good. Quality's not there, but it is absolutely going to make you think of Layton. The first time you spray it, that's immediately what I thought of. So for $20, if you can get it, again, I got it on Amazon. I don't know if it's still on there. eBay did have it. It was just higher price. Just know that performance isn't crazy. But it absolutely, the scent is there.